Hello everyone, my name is Chris Jackson. I am the neighborhood planner at the City of Amarillo, and it's time to talk about the Recognized Neighborhood Association Renewal Training. Now, the video training purpose is all about renewal guidance. I will guide you through the process of submitting your neighborhood association renewal applications. I have made available to every recognized neighborhood association the renewal application, as well it is posted to the public city website for the City of Amarillo. Now, this training video is important because there is a March 31st deadline of every year that each recognized neighborhood association must submit renewal information. Renewal requirements. Now, there are 4 core main documentation articles that we request at the City of Amarillo, and I would quickly like to go over what those are. First is board member information. Board member information is the names, positions, and contact information for all board members. Second, we have our membership details. The membership details is just the total number of general members in your association. Third is the meeting records, in which it is the complete minutes from all general and board meetings, including dates, times, and locations. Fourth is the bylaw amendments, in which you submit updated bylaws if any amendments have been made. Now, the reason why these 4 core tenets are important are because they are what solidify what we believe is the bare minimum of operational capability and record tracking within the recognized neighborhood associations. Ordinance, City of Amarillo Ordinance number 8001 requires all and each of the things that are listed here, and it is one of the things that we try to maintain within the Recognized Neighborhood Association program. But to a further degree of the importance, I will break it down. Board member information is important because I, as the neighborhood planner, need to know who I am supposed to reach out to at each of the recognized neighborhood associations whenever I'm trying to coordinate and work with. But also, in good faith, it is how we provide a connection between the recognized neighborhood associations and the public. We do this by updating the city website and letting the public know how they can get involved with any of the recognized neighborhood associations. Currently, there are just 4 recognized neighborhood associations, that being the Barrio, North Heights, San Jacinto, and Eastridge. Membership details. This is just an annual report that we require to see if there has been any growth or decline in the recognized neighborhood associations. We want to track this just so we know if there's anything we can do to help increase membership participation and overall just to see the success of the Recognized Neighborhood Association program. Meeting records. Now, the importance behind the meeting records is because we want to know at the city that the neighborhoods, recognized neighborhoods, are meeting as often as they claim and have it documented. But once again, it's also to inform the public and let them know how they may participate and when they can expect our neighborhood associations to meet. Bylaw amendments. Now, again, in reference to Ordinance 8001, there are key elements that we require in the bylaws of each of the recognized neighborhood associations. If there are any changes that the board has decided in these bylaws, city staff would like the most updated record so we can add it to our files moving forward. Now, aside from the 4 key tenets of physical documentation that we provide, on the renewal application that once again is made available to all recognized neighborhood associations and is publicly on our City of Amarillo website, is the strategic plans, the planning, PIMS, and annual meetings. These are 3 additional things that are required in that renewal application, and I would like to cover them in great detail. Strategic planning. The strategic plan is a list of projects that the neighborhood wants to pursue in the upcoming year. The purpose of the strategic plan is to project focus and efficiently pursue and complete projects. This list is what planning will refer to unless unique opportunities arise. The strategic plan is just a reference material. It is not an official submission of projects. There's a template that will be provided, and there will be a whole list of other documentation that will provide to exemplify how to submit an application and what a good application looks like. But we provide already on the city website a template for a strategic plan. All a strategic plan is to let I, as the neighborhood planner, know what are the goals and objectives of the recognized neighborhood associations and what you want to try and look forward to accomplishing in this year or years to come. But it is not an official project submission. Projects require a lot more planning. It isn't as simple as just saying we want to do this. The project submission is about how we do it and how we will accomplish it. And that is what leads me to the next explanation of projects in motions, PIMs. Now, the PIM is the official document to submit a proposed project and is a 3-step process. There is also a template that I have provided many times over and published on the city website for project implementation. But let's go over the steps. Step 1. After submittal, the neighborhood planner works with the neighborhoods to complete and conceptualize the project. So let's say we pull off of the strategic plan a project that the neighborhoods really want to do, one of the neighborhoods really want to do. Now it is time to conceptualize and talk about the planning of it, how much the project will cost, where we will funnel the money for this project from, how we will accomplish it, what other partnerships are required, and a whole litany of other things that will come into play for construction and completion of these public projects. But this is the very first step, because right after this step is that the refined PIM is presented to the MPOC for approval. The MPOC, as the Recognized Neighborhood Association should know, is a Neighborhood Plan Oversight Committee. The MPOC is made up of 2 city council members and 2 county commissioners. It is a board that is comprised of a total of 4 individuals. It is important because it is the city and the county that provide the funding for the neighborhood planning initiative. And to get their approval, it is important that we have a well-defined, well-constructed project. Now, after step 2, there is an approval. But let's just wait before we move to step 3. Let's say we get to step 2. And the MPOC rejects the PIM that is submitted. That does not by detail mean that the project at whole is a bad idea. The MPOC hands down recommendations of what they would like to see before agreeing to a project, most times often than not. It is at that point we go back to step 1, conceptualize and make clear the picture and the direction that the recognized neighborhood associations want. It is important to understand that this is a partnership and working towards the best interests of the neighborhoods and what they want to see in their communities. But let's say we're going to step 2 and there's an approval, and now we're moving on to step 3, at which there's an approved project and now it is officially in motion and the project timeline starts. It is at the time that we receive an approval from the MPOC that I, as the neighborhood planner, am then held accountable to a timeline that we present of when the neighborhoods expect action on the project and expectation of when that project should be completed. These are all things that we work towards, and these are all things that to look forward to, and that is how the official projects work. It is a stark difference between just the strategic plan. And finally, let's look at the annual membership meeting requirements. According to Ordinance 8001 at the City of Amarillo, each and every recognized neighborhood association has to have an annual membership meeting. And this meeting is in accordance with the bylaws of each and every organization, because I have ensured with each recognized neighborhood that they are meeting this requirement as outlined in the ordinance. Now, this meeting is a generally open meeting with the following action items: board elections, a neighborhood finance report, a strategic plan creation, and membership recruitment. Starting with board elections. The reason why the annual membership meeting is so important is to ensure that our recognized neighborhood associations are properly hosting elections and that the people have a say in who represents their neighborhood plan boundary. It is something that has to happen. It has to be well documented, and that's why the minutes are required for every meeting throughout the year. Secondly is the neighborhood finance report. As the neighborhood planner, I keep on file the funding allocations and project allocations of each and every neighborhood, and they are always available upon request. And so it is such that at each annual membership meeting, a report that I have compiled should be made available to each of the residents within the neighborhood plan boundaries. Next is the strategic plan. As mentioned, the strategic plan is just the direction that the recognized neighborhood association would like. It is at the annual membership meeting that we advise that this plan is discussed with the residents so we can make sure that the vision that each of the recognized neighborhood associations have are in line with the people that are represented through the organization. It is not that the strategic plan absolutely has to happen at the annual membership meeting, but best practice is that taking and utilizing that time in which the community is gathered to try and decide the direction in which the organization should go. And lastly, membership recruitment. It is always advised by the City of Amarillo that the organization should take advantage of any opportunity to grow membership and make sure the organization is fully representative of their neighborhood plan boundary. There is a template as well that is provided online, and again, I'll make sure sent out with this video, of a membership form that helps as a template basis on how to gauge the amount of people that are interested in the organization and how to recruit people into the organization and their interests and which capacity they can help grow the organization. As a brief recap, we have the strategic plan, projects that the neighborhood wants to pursue in the incoming year. It's not an official submission. For official submissions, we have PIMs, project in motion forms. It is the formal process of submitting a project and working with planning staff to create that project. A 3-tiered process from project creation to board approval to establishing the timeline and expectations of delivering on said project. And then lastly, as a very key component, is the annual membership meeting. The annual meeting in which associations reach out to the neighborhood for membership and project ideas. At its root, the renewal process is for documenting the health of each of our recognized neighborhood associations, but also in which ways we can improve and ensure that we are always consistent with what the public wants between project creation and spending allocations. Best practices for renewal. I will showcase a few examples of successful renewal applications that can serve as inspiration for your own submissions. It is my upheld belief that each recognized neighborhood association has something currently from previous examples, some of the best case scenarios of representing a complete application, and I would like to share that with everyone. I will also provide tips on how to organize and maintain accurate records for all of your association activities. Let's take a look at the Board of Directors example from the Barrio Neighborhood Planning Committee. It's their 2023 RNA submittal. It's a little bit old, but this is one of my favorite submissions of a Board of Directors examples. It has the name of each and every person that is part of the board. It has their position and what capacity they serve. The phone number and the email is the best way to contact them, and the identity. Identity is one of the key tenets of the 8001 ordinance. There is a requirement that each board member has to represent some faction of the community, be it education, a business owner, a resident, a property owner. There's a few different things that we require in the ordinance, and this submission from 2023 best outlines the makeup of the board in Barrio. Let's look at a strategic plan example. As I mentioned, this is a template that's openly available and will be provided in the packet, but the strategic plan submitted by North Heights and the North Heights Advisory Association in 2024 clearly outlines the project goals for the incoming year, how it will be funded, and what they would like to do, and also the priority order. Very simple template, very standard, and great example of a strategic plan to be submitted. Let's take a look at the annual membership meeting notice. Again, this is a 2024 example from the North Heights Advisory Association, and there was a few misconceptions that I've heard personally from recognized neighborhood association members. And it doesn't have to be a physical print. You don't have to go door to door. A simple Facebook online post, such as the one I'm presenting in this slide, is all it takes to really show that you did your most to give outreach of this general membership meeting that is available. This is a clear-cut and easy example of how to engage with the public about the annual membership meeting. Then we have a PIM submittal. Now this is a fully filled out PIM submitted by the San Jacinto Neighborhood Association back in 2023. It's whenever they were requesting a community center. There is a blank template form that I've made available that's on the website and will be in the informational packet for this video, in which you can see the core questions that I, as the neighborhood planner, have, and it is also one of the very first steps into building out the project. This is a clear example of a well-developed PIM. It's one of my favorites. It goes into great detail of what the goal is, how we achieve it, and what we are working towards. And it's also why it ended up getting approved by our NPOC, the Neighborhood Planning Oversight Committee Board. Membership outreach. The East Church Community Association within 2024, and just the previous year, created a website. And this is also for one of the renewal requirements, proof of reaching out to the community, spreading that outreach, and what you're doing to make your organization present and visible in the community. Very simple example, very well developed. And again, we have the East Church Community Association in 2024 also did yard signs as well. You can see very right here that they have a QR code in which you can scan and get to their website and get that additional engagement, but also a nice yard sign for their Adopt a Yard initiative, in which they clean up yards or value members in the community that are helping clean up yards, and it gives visibility in a form of outreach in the community. Lastly, and one of the things that I wanted to provide in best practices is this calendar example. Now, a calendar is not required by the renewal documentation by any means. I want to make that extremely clear. A calendar is not required. However, as best practice, and something that I think gives a lot of value to the neighborhoods, is this example right here. It allows the community to be in touch with the neighborhood, to know what you're doing at all times, but also, from my perspective, it helps me let other partners who want to work with the neighborhood associations outside of city involvement, let them know what you're up to, where they can meet with you, and how they can get involved. I love this calendar. It is by no means a requirement, but in the form of best practices and one of the things that gives legitimacy to the organizational structure, a calendar is very useful in helping maintain the efficiency and effectiveness of the recognized neighborhood associations. This is my contact information and my phone number. If there are any additional questions that you need to reach out to me, please feel free to do so. But that is the end of our renewal guidance.